Well, at least it's reasonably fast. Oh wait, here we go. 38T, German light tank. This should be a fair fight. Which, if you find yourself in a fair fight, you're doing something wrong. So, it's time to do something sneaky. Drop some arty on him. That should make life nice and difficult for him. Come on, buddy. Come on. You can die now. Come on. Holy smokes. One hit. Jesus. That did it. Well, you know what they say, buddy. Old age and treachery will always overcome youth and skill. Hey guys, it's R1. Today, I want to take a look at some gameplay footage of the Russian T-70 light tank. It's a Tier 1, battle ranking 1.7, and War Thunder ground forces in realistic mode. The T-70 is a relatively quick tank with a maximum speed of 45 kilometers per hour. Its armor is decent, with 45 millimeters in the front, and a turret that is 35 millimeters thick all the way around. It's armed with a 45mm 20K cannon with a reload speed of about 3.5 seconds and has a good selection of ammo types. I'm going to have to say right up front that I struggled a bit with this tank. Perhaps I was simply placing my shots poorly, but although I could penetrate the target reliably, I seemed to have a hard time taking them out completely, especially at range. It was only when I got to relatively close range that I found I could take down a typical target relatively quickly. We'll also have a cameo appearance in this video of the Russian light bomber, the SB-2M100. It's one of my personal favorites at this level. I'm going to show you two different battles. The first one will be starting on jungle. I'll have to note, today, as I was recording the narration for this, a patch came out that changes the map entirely for jungle. Well, at least makes some major changes. So, anything that you see terrain-wise in this map or in this battle sequence has probably changed. Now I'm going to head directly for our cap. We don't have much in the way of eyes over there, and pretty much every significant asset of the enemy team is going to end up heading that direction relatively quickly, so it was probably a good idea. This is also the route that a lot of the NPC tanks on the enemy team are going to take, and I'd kind of like to curtail that. that fella directly ahead of me, he's in a great position to level fire on anyone approaching the central cap. I figure I'm going to have to draw his fire and try to hold until the rest of my team can make it back over from the southern flank. You'll also notice as this progresses that the enemy team is doing a pretty good job of sweeping around the northern flank, and there's not much over here to stop them except me. Just about the only thing I have going for me at this point is I'm in a good position. I'm hard for him to hit. But I keep upping round after round after round into this guy, and I can't seem to kill him. Or, apparently, anything else. Now he's starting to get my range, which is not good. And I've got to watch it on my left now too. I am getting encircled. So I can't pay exclusive attention to him anymore. I can't afford it. Well, it took some doing, but at least I got that fella. You might consider firing on those NPC tanks as well, a waste of time, but frankly I just didn't want the annoyance of having him get in behind me and blasting me from behind with cannon fire. Now I have to watch my right flank as well. This is starting to get hot, but I've got some backup on the way. Just need to hang on as long as I can. Yeah, no matter how secure that position may have been, or how effective its defense was, they finally managed to get a good shot in on me. So now I need to jump in something that is going to give me a good view of the battlefield, and hopefully thin the herd. So that sounds like a job for the SB-2M100. It's a Russian light bomber that I'm really fond of. It's a very nimble aircraft, and in arcade mode it's outstanding. Almost as maneuverable as a fighter. You don't have the limitations that you have in realistic mode. And it has a very effective front turret that can be quite effective in chasing down enemy fighter aircraft. That's always fun. In realistic mode, however, its twin engines might as well be powered by twisted rubber bands. It does okay when you're coming into the battle like this, when you have altitude providing speed, but once you get down low and start to lose velocity and you don't have the altitude to play with to get it back, you have to be kind of careful. You can end up just stalling out and crashing in a heartbeat, but I'm still fond of it. There are few bombers of any nationality that can be as precise as this little plane can be. Well, that's 2 threats down, 1 on the ground, and due to a lucky hit from my tail gunner there, 1 in the air as well. That Stuka decided he was going to jump me from behind. That didn't work out so well for him. But in the process, I've lost a lot of speed, and that's a problem. Still, going to do what I can. Yeah, I know. Too low and too slow. What's more worrisome to me is that in my last glimpse of the situation from the air, there seemed to be an awful lot of enemy tanks heading toward our cap, and they were getting close. I'm heading back to the cap as quickly as I can, and we're going to effect our base defense again. But this time, with any luck, I'm going to have a little support. I've had some luck, and I've had to repair. Now I need to reposition. And try to avoid being crushed by a teammate's butt. I'm hoping to get a good angle of fire on those fellas that were suppressing me, but by the time I get over here, my teammates have made short work of most of them. So I get off this slab of rock where I'm a sitting duck and move to a better position. have liked to have nailed this biplane, but this turret is apparently hand-cranked, and it's slow as molasses. I needn't have worried about him, though. Now, there's been a lot of aerial activity, which usually means the other team is running out of tanks. There's not very many left, I think only one or two, this guy being one of them. So, since we don't have any other targets in front of us right now, we all unload on this Stuka coming in. It takes quite a while. We're cutting forward here. And my teammate finally takes him down at the last minute. And we're going to end up taking this match. I have to tell you, while the tank did okay, that match was kind of hard work. Now we're going to cut to some excerpts from another battle, another conquest battle on Ash River. I'm going to be cutting large sections of this battle out because part of it was a very lengthy cap process, but this is going to show you that this tank does not necessarily have to depend on teammates being in the area to do a good job. I did get a lot of support, but not directly. For a fair amount of time, I had to fend for myself. Nobody else is in a position to get to this cap quickly. Well, there's one fella, but he ends up heading off to do other things. Actually, he did provide some good covering fire in a relatively close part of the battlefield, so I'm not trying to diss him at all. But I was quite a lengthy time pretty exposed out there on that cap. Before I can get to that capture point, though, I'm going to have to deal with this fellow to my left, up on that ridge. He's in too good a position to just ignore. I'm going to succeed in getting him to back off, but he calls in artillery on me. And it was a close thing. I have got to move. And to my surprise, I run smack into this Panzer III. Nose to nose, he's going to shove me right out of the way. But I'm up close now. And this cannon's not too bad at close quarter combat. Huh. Go figure. Now the problem is, there's spawns up there on that ridge. And I've got to convince them to clear out of there and leave me alone. An artillery barrage can be a nice deterrent. Now to find a nice little hidey hole after scanning 360. And let's see if I can dig in here like a tick and start capturing this point. This takes a while, so I'm going to cut forward. I've had to drop another barrage up there to keep people backed off that ridge. But all of a sudden, I find that I've got company of my own down here. I need to pressure this guy into making a mistake that I can capitalize on. Sounds like it's made to order for another artillery barrage. Well, that worked out a lot better than I expected it would. So I'm going to go back to watching that point. Eventually, support does arrive, and I'm able to relax a little bit. We are going to take this match. The cap will be done here in just a moment. And it goes downhill from there for the enemy team. I will go hunting for other survivors on the enemy team, but I don't catch up to any of them before the match ends. So that leaves us with the T-70. Is it a tank that I would highly recommend? No, I really can't say that. It's, as you've seen, struggles, especially at range, to take down whatever it's shooting at. You have to get pretty close to be really effective, and sometimes that's not too practical. It does have its uses, and I wouldn't say otherwise. It moves quickly, it can harass a point, it can pull people off. It just gets a little frustrating when you keep pumping round after round after round into them and they just won't die until you finally get just the right shot in. And again, that could be me and poor shot placement. But I think there are better options at Battle Ranking 1.7, and this would definitely be a second choice for me. Your mileage may vary. Anyway, no matter what game you play, or whether you prefer to stay on the ground or be in the air, good hunting.